Hello, I'm Margaret Graziano with Keen Alignment, where we empower people committed to shaping organizations that work. In 2019, the McKinsey report shows that around 60% of change initiatives are somewhere between a base hit and a home run, and only 1 in 10 are total strikeouts. So, why do people keep saying that 70% of organizational change efforts fail to produce breakthrough results? In the book, Who Moved My Cheese, the author hypothesizes that change fails because people aren't prepared to handle change, they don't want to accept it, or they're attached to the current way things are. So, what's behind people's reluctance to change? It's their thinking about the change that's in the way. Let's start with thought. People have lots of thinking about change, and therefore they have biases. They have biased perceptions, beliefs, feelings, and therefore biased behavior around the changes in the organization. Most people in today's world react based on how they feel. We've covered that in past lessons. And what most people don't realize is that their feelings come from an impulse that's a response to external stimuli that shows up in the moment as a thought. When faced with organizational changes, most untrained minds respond with automatic patterns of thought that come in and out of consciousness like clouds speeding through the sky when a storm is blowing in. Some people who are naturally wired to accept change as a good thing may respond eagerly. Awesome, finally, we're doing something about this. On the other hand, there's those that are conditioned to want things to stay the same, and they automatically may respond with resistance. Uh-oh, what's happening now? Something different again? Something's wrong. This isn't going to be good for anyone. And then there are those who've been hearing and reading that 70% of all change efforts fail, so they don't even invest in the change. They don't care about what happens. They're apathetic, just in an effort to preserve themselves from spinning their wheels and wasting time. We all have thinking around change, and it's the thinking that's grooved into our brain, so to say, through our neural pathways. In companies where organizational changes aren't effectively communicated or aren't communicated at all, there's lots of thinking, gossiping, and spinning out as a result of the missing information. As Judith Glaser in her groundbreaking book, Conversational Intelligence, educates us, in the absence of information, people make things up and assume the worst. People who work in a corporate culture where there is little emphasis put on communication are most likely to respond to organizational changes with skepticism and resistance. Judith goes on to say uncertainty is the fulcrum between trust and distrust. When leaders do not make certain that their people are in the know, their teams are likely to have a fight, flight, or freeze response. In the fight, flight, or freeze, our primitive brain, the amygdala, alerts us, warning that we're in trouble, and it shoots out adrenaline and cortisol that precludes us from thinking straight and being aware of what's going on. So we resist anything that's changing. When leaders do not spend the time to make sure the workforce is brought up to speed with the why, the where, the when, the how, and the what of the changes being institutionalized, they open themselves and their teams up to a lot of unnecessary drama, strife, and pain. Now let's move to consciousness. Consciousness is the ability to slow down our thinking and reflect on what's happening as it's occurring in the moment in time. Oh, my boss just said we need to change the way we're doing quotes because our quotes are causing a breakdown in signing new deals. I wonder if it's me that's screwing something up. I guess I should clarify exactly what the problem is and if I'm a cause of it. Being conscious is being self-aware. Being self-aware enough to slow down in the moment, check in with ourselves and others, and if we're the one having the thoughts, asking ourselves what our thinking's about and if it makes sense and is ultimately aligned with what I'm committed to. If I notice someone else is reacting in a way that demonstrates they might be spinning out, I need to check in with them. Consciousness gives us access to self and situational awareness. And mind is what becomes available when we tap into the universal intelligence of the universal collective. When we get out of our head and into conversations with those affected by the change, we reverse the tide of resistance and skepticism and make way for change to happen with ease and flow. When people in the workforce feel knowledgeable and informed about the organizational changes and they feel part of them, they see reality more clearly and are much more open to engage. When our team members trust in what's happening in the environment, they are more likely to assume positive intent and interpret with facts and eventually co create solutions for positive change with us and each other. So, why does organizational change fail? It's my hypothesis that we share too little and allow people to fill in the blanks, and they almost never fill them in with positive, empowering thoughts. As agents of cultural alignment and organizational transformation, it's important to understand how thought, consciousness, and mind work and to leverage that knowledge in how we communicate about the changes we intend. Thank you for joining me today. I look forward to another great session tomorrow as part of your 21-day cultural transformation journey. See you tomorrow.